What are Scientology men looking for in a relationship? Oh, No Nora called something out, and we're going to talk about how two protesters were threatened by a Scientologist. Hey, everybody, and welcome. Great to see you here in the chat. Hello to the members, too. I appreciate you being here. I'm Natalie, and this is Scientology, Life After a Cult. And we have got all kinds of Scientology news to recap, including if you joined the other day, I did a video with Nora. We were talking about some of the romantic side of what people are doing in Scientology. And we got on this topic and we a few days prior to that, do you guys remember when we looked at the website for Scientology singles? Well, somebody joined and we have some behind the scenes information that we're going to be sharing a little bit later in this video. Right now, let's jump over to some Tom Cruise news because I think we figured this out. Why do we keep seeing these articles of Tom Cruise hidden photos with children released, never seen before, unseen, blah, 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 blah. Do you know why we keep seeing that? I bet you guys do, but I'm going to tell you anyways. So let's just kick it off by looking at this article that I'm laughing at the title. I'm just laughing at the title here. Okay, so, oh my goodness. It says, this article, Tom Cruise's reclusive Scientologist son Connor shares glimpse inside his life away from Hollywood spotlight. We've seen these a few times recently, and they always happen right about a certain time. Something else happens. So this is, I mean, really, there's not much here, just talking about Connor and basically he posted to Instagram for the first time in a long time, and that was like the big news. But this idea of, I feel like it's this total misdirection when it comes to Tom Cruise and his camp and what they want people to think, their public relations, how people see them, all of that. Here's the deal. I think it's because of this. We're going to take a look at, what is this from? This is from, you guys, this cracked me up so bad when I looked at these two things together. So Katie Holmes and Suri Cruise escaped Scientology. There is a channel here on YouTube, did a recent video on it. At 18, Tom Cruise's daughter confirms the rumors. But every time one of these tell-alls or exposés about Suri Cruise comes out, boom, we're hit with never before seen photos of Tom Cruise's children. And it's usually, Bella and Connor, the two children that he is still connected to. Take a look at this clip from this video.
According to reports, Holmes meticulously planned her departure, relying on the support of close family, friends, and legal experts to ensure she could leave safely with Suri. Her decision to initiate the divorce while Cruise was away filming in Iceland was seen as a strategic move to avoid immediate confrontation and secure a legal advantage. Perhaps the most shocking element of this narrative is the suggestion that Holmes and Suri had to escape from Scientology.
Yes, they did. They did. And I feel that every time a larger channel puts out something like this and it gets a lot of attention, which that video is doing, boom, we're going to get hit with these never seen before photos of his other children. Like, no, we're on to you. We're on to you. We see the game. We know what's happening. Now, let's talk about something that is interesting. And this is an interview that Marilyn at Coffee Cults and Crafts did with Mark Turi. We're going to take a look at just a snippet from that interview, but links down below so you can see it along with all the other videos and things we're going to talk about. And this is called Staff or Slave, How Scientology Tricks Its Members into Joining Staff.
It became something called full time. And I was essentially working Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. until 11 p.m. and then Saturdays and Sundays from 1 p.m. until 11 p.m. And that was 7 days a week. And
I mean, those are like some Sea Org hours. And I do believe he was on staff in what's called a Class 5 organ Scientology, and it was an ideal organization as well.
Did that for a few months. I then actually blew, which happens because everybody hits a wall and they.
That's right. He shares his whole story, what happened with his time in Scientology, how he escaped. So you're going to want to check that out. And his story, it's one of, there's many common themes when you hear these stories of people leaving Scientology or leaving staff or leaving the Sea Org. And it's the way that Scientology tries to put all these roadblocks in there. That's why they have you do something called a routing form, which is a piece of paper that lists out all the ways they're going to try to stop you from leaving and change your mind. And if you don't comply and get everyone signed off by their proper Scientology terminal, the staff member, and you leave, well, then you're considered blown, and that's a suppressive act. So they kind of get people up against a wall this way. Well, if you don't do all these steps where we're going to try and convince you to stay, well, then we're just going to declare you a subversive person. It's so dumb. It's set up not to help the person. I mean, we know this, but to actually try and do everything in their power to get them to stay, which includes convincing them that they have crimes against Scientology, that there's something that they did. It's horrible. It's so horrible. That's right, Capricious Caroline. Can you imagine that schedule? That's like some serious Sea Org hours. That's crazy. Okay, so now let's talk about, does anyone watch ALYSSA GRENFELL? She is here on YouTube, has a background in Mormonism, and she did a video that part of it, they touched on Scientology and Mormonism. And I did not know this. I'm fascinated finding out about Mormonism in ways because there are a few things that are similar to Scientology and its setup. And one of those, I didn't know that in Mormonism, you go up levels similar to Scientology. So I found this fascinating. And let's take a look at it.
We even still don't know how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Maybe.
Is there a circle beyond the circle?
There's a third anointing.
A third anointing, yeah.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised at this point because I feel like it's just all about how insular and how many layers they can build. So there's always a way to get even deeper into the organization.
You see this in other high demand religions like
Scientology.
Scientology, yeah. You make it to the super duper inner circle club and you're given the information about the.
Look at that. They even have a copy of The Bridge to Total Freedom right on there. The Bridge to a New World. I mean, just two copies there.
Alien overlord Xenu, who set off this whole crazy experiment here on Earth. This is the Mormon equivalent of that. And you kind of need something to offer people who are making huge donations to the church, who've given a whole lifetime. It's kind of like the next payoff. So it makes sense. It serves as an organizational purpose.
And
So interesting. There's just so much that I don't know about it that I'm just dying to learn. Capricious Caroline, does it seem like Mormons live better than Scientologists? At a glance, I think so. And I think that in part is because they're bigger on family, at least as I understand it. So that would just kind of, spending time with your family, doing things with your family seems to be a big deal. So I think in that way, they got a leg up on Scientologists, where the organization, Scientology, the church itself is valued over family or individual happiness. But I don't know enough about it. But trust me, I'm going to be learning. Bluffer Squirrel says there's a big link with Mormonism and chiropractors too. Stop. I did not know that. That is interesting. I'm telling you, it's a rabbit hole. It is a rabbit hole. It is interesting. Nothing on me is fake. ALYSSA Grendel's channel is fascinating. Her videos are really scary and interesting. Yeah, I'm just learning about the channel, and it's fascinating. Teresa says, tune into Cults to Consciousness. Shalise talks about Mormons and cults. Love her. Yes, I've seen multiple videos on her channel. Absolutely love her. Cubana Chica, I saw somewhere that they have to pay tithe before even buying food. Oh, that's interesting. Oh my goodness. Wow. Scientology up north. I'm standing next to two Mormons at a bus stop right now. What are the odds? What are the odds? And we actually have some clips from Scientology up north coming up. Okay, so I was like, wow. So speaking of Scientology up north, that's actually the clip we're going to look at right now, where this is Scientology's response. So Scientology did a response to the big article that was on the cover of the largest newspaper in Denmark the other day. And Scientology up north and L. Ron Hub cult break it down and go over it. And it is fantastic. So let's pull this up and take a look at this first part here.
The Sea organization consists of the most dedicated Scientologists, people who have decided...
Can you stop here? Can you stop here?
In middle of the sentence. Okay.
Yeah. The most dedicated Scientologist. Sorry. Then after you can repeat the whole sentence.
Yes.
The most dedicated Scientologist. Look, I was a raw meat.
Yes.
Yes. Sorry. I need to get it out now, you know.
I know.
And I joined the Sea Org, or at least I tried to. They recruited me. There is just recently he came out. He did an interview with Aaron, Leo.
Yes.
Also raw meat, you know, from the street, you know.
So he's saying basically this idea that Scientology and the Sea Org are made up of the most dedicated Scientologists. While that might be true for some, many of them are people who kind of stumbled into Scientology not knowing what it was, especially in Europe. And he's referencing Leo Perez, who recently did an interview on growing up in Scientology with Aaron and talked about his experience. And he pretty much got into the Sea Org right off of Hollywood Boulevard. He was recruited at the Hollywood Testing Center. And there was a lot of manipulation that went on, and he ended up joining the Sea organization and then left. But he wasn't even a Scientologist. So what L. Ron Hubcult is saying about this, it makes a ton of sense. And I've seen this happen. Even when I was in the Sea Org, I remember this one guy, it made no sense that he was in the Sea Org because he wasn't a Scientologist. Some suspected that maybe he was a plant from the government, but he passed his Scientology checks, and it didn't make a lot of sense, but he was also unhoused at the time and kind of didn't have anywhere to live. So he joined the Sea organization, and we've seen this happen. This is part of why I believe that Scientology targets people from other countries. We know they do. This is part of the human trafficking. Get them to come work in the Sea organization, maybe on a religious visa, and then they hide their passports from them so that they cannot leave. So this is definitely a thing. And I'm glad he brought that up because it's not always talked about enough. Scientology loves to talk about their dedicated Sea Org members, but they don't, of course, want you to know that some of these people are recruited right off the street. And some of them were unhoused, didn't have a home, came from another country, and Scientology just took them in and turned them into Sea Org members. And we know how that ends for a lot of people. So let's see, there's another part of this that I wanted to share with you guys where they're responding to what Scientology's response to this article that was on the front page of a paper in Denmark about Scientology.
Him in the end of her response by saying that he was unable to control his sexual urges, thereby disqualifying himself from the membership in the Sea organization, as the members are expected to adhere to the highest level of ethical behavior. I think that that's so disgusting. The last sentence is, unlike in many other religious orders, however, members of the Sea organization are allowed to marry, something Cyril Chiquet also became while he was in the Sea organization.
Scientology's obsession with the sex lives of people is next level. They really do take it to a whole nother level, especially if it involves any type of self-pleasuring. They're not okay with it. I don't know why. In fact, I think it's one of the things that a lot of Scientologists don't even realize, because it comes up if you're getting Scientology auditing, or if you're full-time on training, or if you're in the Sea Org. We should ask Dear Leader and the Office of Special Affairs. Hello, our friends in the Office of Special Affairs and Mr. David Miscavige here. Why the obsession with what people do, especially with their own bodies? Why are you so anti anybody touching themselves in a pleasurable way? You know what? For all you know, I'm doing it right now. I'm just saying, it makes you even more culty, and you just need to get over it. But I don't think they're going to get over it, because I think it's part of this attitude in Scientology of, not all Scientologists, but David Miscavige, and I've seen this in the Sea organization, not every person, but some of them get really hung up on status and things like that, and pride themselves too on basically being celibate. I've met a few people like that during my time back in my day in the Sea Org, and on not ever touching themselves in a fun way. I'm just saying, it's weird. And it's so stuck in this idea of that is not okay because L. Ron Hubbard said so. And what Scientologists don't know is that L. Ron Hubbard was involved in a sex cult right up to leading up to the release of the book Dianetics and starting Scientology. So really, we're going to let this guy tell us? Really? We are? Are we going to listen to him? No. But that's not known to Scientologists. It's one of those things you don't think about until you leave, or you don't find out about until you leave. I did not know about the Aleister Crowley, the Jack Parsons, the Black Magic, all of that L. Ron Hubbard was involved in. So when these things come up, it's even more like, are you kidding me with this? Really? Scientology? That's bizarre. It's really bizarre. All right, let's see here. Let's take a look at a video, a clip from Aaron at Growing Up in Scientology, where he's talking about how a Clearwater firm, No Before, accidentally hired a North Korean hacker. And this was in the newspaper. This was in the Tampa Bay Times, I believe. So it's even more hilarious because it's a very large paper. And well, let's listen to the clip and then we'll talk about this.
Clearwater firm No Before accidentally hires North Korean hacker. Oopsie. The remote worker stole an American identity and shipped his company device to a laptop farm in the United States. Okay, super interesting. Before we read the rest of the article, I'll just show you. This is No Before's website here. They were a publicly traded company. They went public in 2021. They were acquired by a private equity firm in 2023. So they're no longer publicly traded. And yeah, Stu Showerman is the CEO, is the founder and CEO. Here is Stu and his company No Before being featured in a Scientology magazine. Freedom is one of Scientology's propaganda rags.
It sure is. And there he is, the owner of the company. This guy donated a crazy amount of money to Scientology. How many? Let's have you guys guess. If you didn't see the video, don't cheat if you already know. How much money do you think this guy donated to Scientology? Tell me in the live chat, and we'll see if anybody even comes close. And if you're catching this on the replay, jump in those comments and let me know. How much money do you think he donated to Scientology? It is absolutely fascinating to me that someone can go that far in Scientology. And these big whales, these are the people keeping Scientology alive. They are. So we got like 5.3 million, 5 million, millions, 5 million. It's higher than that. It's more than that. This man donated $65 million to Scientology. $65 million. He donated $65 million to Scientology. You get a special award for that. Yep, right. That's what I'm saying. Yep. 65 million. If you watch the whole video with Aaron, he even has an image of the guy getting his award, his Scientology award for having donated all this money. Yes. $65 million. One man, right? One person. Now, meanwhile, we see how the staff are not taken care of in the C organization and staff in Class 5 orgs in Scientology who are not paid even minimum wage. One guy donates 65 million. That's one guy. There are so many others, Grant Cardone, Tom Cruise, and others, Nancy Cartwright, who donate millions and millions and millions of dollars to Scientology. Cubana Chica, he did get a dinner plate medal. But don't get it twisted. Not as large as Tom Cruise is. Nobody got what Tom Cruise got because his, needed to be extra special because he is the most dedicated Scientologist on the planet, per David Miscavige. Hey, Phil Jones. Phil says, I worked for Stu for years. He's a hardcore Scientologist. You have to be to give them $65 million. I just cannot get over it. Yep, Miss Kim, and they don't pay electric bills. Yes, Scientology organizations across the world are struggling to pay their utilities because their buildings are humongous and empty. In Dallas, they've even taken to turning off lights on the lower level to keep the electric bill down. We've seen this. How do we learn all this? Through people live streaming and protesting outside of Scientology, and also from members who have left or some who might still be under the radar. It is really crazy. Yep, that's right, Casper. That's a big whale. That's what they call them. It totally is. It totally is. Oh my goodness. I just, it's just too much sometimes. Too much. $65 million. I just cannot. Because I just keep thinking about how many people could be helped in society, real help, even within Scientology itself. They could actually maybe, I don't know, provide better birthing for Sea Org members, maybe reduce their hours, maybe get them healthcare, dental. The maybes go on and on. One guy, $65 million, and he's one of a bunch of whales donating money to Scientology, and they're not doing anything to actually help people with it. Yeah, that's right, Cubana. Exactly. Real help. 100%. Fluffer Squirrel, you make a good point. 65 mil would surely pay for every Sea Org allowance for the entire billion-year contract. That's so true. It probably would. I've not done the math, but yes, absolutely. It's just jaw-dropping. I can't get over it. Okay, so now let's take a look at Oh No Nora. Oh No Nora did a video and she called something out. She called something out to Scientology that they definitely do not want you to know this. So let's watch it and then let's talk about it.
They are shuttering the blinds. They are off policy. They are not being Scientology, right? They are literally going against what Elron is saying because they are in fear, right? What are they afraid that Wendy or Rika or Hey Carrie Ann or Ree or T or any of these people that are out protesting, or the Cubs champion, all these guys that are out there, what are they afraid that is going to be on YouTube, right? Because most of the weird,
I'm telling you, every time, what do we see when protesters are out in front of Scientology buildings? They close the blinds, they shut the blinds. L. Ron Hubbard's whole thing for Scientology was to be open, to be shouting it from the rooftops, to promote. And I forgot about that because, you know, I'm trying to forget a lot of Scientology. And Nora called this out and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's right. Every time they close the blinds and they lock the doors, they're actually violating L. Ron Hubbard policy on this. So it's another example. If you happen to be a Scientologist having doubts about Scientology, that one thing alone, why do they do that? Why? Right? If you have nothing to hide, if there's nothing to see, the thing is there's lots to see. Not a lot of action happening for Scientology, but they don't want you to see the staff members, the Sea Org members that are in there who haven't had contact with their family. Those are the kind of things that they're trying to hide. They're trying to hide staff members who maybe have legal cases that they've shipped around the world. Yes, they are. Phil Jones says, Stu's last comment, so that's the guy who gave the $65 million. Stu's last comment to me was that I couldn't work for him if I wasn't in good standing with Scientology. Yes, you can't work, because how could you possibly do a good job at your work if Scientology doesn't approve of you? This is such a thing held over the heads of Scientologists. There's a lot of seeking this approval from Scientology. It's all about it. Every step you do in Scientology is seeking the approval of Scientology telling you, yeah, you're a good little Thetan there. You got off your Overton, your withholds. It's when you do the upper levels in Scientology, or you want to do those operating Thetan levels where you get to learn about Xenu and audit out your body Thetan, you have to be invited on. You have to be accepted. So it's very designed. The indoctrination is one of trying to gain the acceptance and the approval of Scientology, which they give out very little. Truly. Muds, you hit it. Extortion is not friendship. Yeah. Absolutely. Eric Rader, good to see you. I think they can't afford for the public to see. There are so few public in any of the idol orgs. Yes, exactly. And that's part of what Nora was calling out, was like, you are covering these things up. It's not like we're not going to know. We're going to know. We're definitely going to know. We're so going to know. Everybody's going to know. We already know. And this is a beautiful thing when people can see that there's like nothing happening. It's quiet. You go by a Scientology org, one of these ideal organizations, and it's just nothing. Nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. It's a lot of running around and pretending, especially on Thursdays before 2:00, which is when their week ends. You know, they go Thursday to Thursday, 2 p.m. to 2 p.m. And yeah, it's like frantically that morning and then like nothing. It's just so, you know what? I actually feel sorry for them because I remember that stress and that anxiety. And it actually gives me a little bit of anxiety here right now when I'm thinking about it because it's so heavy, the demand to produce, the demand to, produce what they want you to produce at the levels that they want you to produce at, whatever your job is. It's crazy. I know I keep saying that. A lot of times I see these things, and even though some of it I know when I'm sharing it with you, it just hits me in real time like, whoa, I can't believe I spent 35 years in that cult. I really can't. Yeah, Fiona, I got my crickets. I figured it out. Oh, I totally did. And some other things too. So I'm excited about incorporating some of that into the videos. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Okay, now let's go take a look at Kelly. Kelly was back at Big Blue, you guys. Was anybody else super excited about this? I totally was. Hey, Farrell Cheryl, good to see you. Oh my gosh, if you guys have not been following Kelly, link down below to her channel. You're going to want to subscribe. She's been out there protesting, and she's back in Los Angeles. And of course, she just brought it. She just brings it back at Big Blue. Now watch this. Kelly's behind some Scientologists right when she arrives at the buildings.
It's wide open. Hi. We're playing good music today. Hi. I'm. ¿Cómo? What? No, I didn't hear you. What you said? Can't see. What did you say?
What? No,
you said what?
You're not welcome here.
Oh, I know. They tell me that every time. I'm Kelly.
I love that. He's like, you're not welcome here. She's like, yeah, I know. They say that a lot.
Kelly. Please don't let me be misunderstood.
And then she tells him, hi, I'm Kelly. I just love it. I just love how she does it out there. And let's see, did I have 2 clips from Kelly? I got one, but I've got another one that we're going to look at because you guys are not going to believe what happened to Kelly and Lara FM out there when they were protesting at Big Blue. You are not going to believe it unless you've already seen it. No spoiler alerts. Don't be telling it in the chat. But we're going to talk all about it when we watch this video. I could not believe it. Yep, Anna, Kelly is awesome. I agree. That's right. I just love. Yeah, I know. They tell me all the time. You just can't rattle her. I love it. Swedish Lena, I so love watching Kelly. I love that she's back at Big Blue. I agree. I'm a huge fan. I totally geek out about it. Okay, so I could not believe this happened. I guess I could believe that it happened because we're talking about Scientology, but it's like they just don't learn. And this particular Scientologist was involved in, multiple Scientology shenanigans. This is Scooter Man. Y'all remember Scooter Man who rammed his scooter into Danny and then had him arrested for trying to steal it? Because that is what Scientology does. They try to set you up. They try to push a button, get a reaction, and then hope that you do something illegal or you break you know what I'm saying? So that the cops can take you away. And if they can't goad you into a reaction and doing something illegal, they create a fake setup, like happened with Scooter Man with the scooter, right? Well, Scooter Man was, oh, hey, Kelly, Kelly's here. Ah! I'm such a fangirl and I'm not even embarrassed about it. I'm really not. Okay, let's take a look at this because Kelly, oh my gosh, after I show the video, Kelly, you got to chime in the chat about this. So she and Lara FM are outside the parking garage, and then Scooter Man comes up in his car. Let's take a look at this. And I think I may have to slow down the video actually so you can really see it. So I am going to slow this down to half speed.
That was a sublime rap.
So, he's on his phone. He was smoking a cigarette earlier and just ashing it right out of the car. Is that dirt all over his car? Doesn't that look like a whole bunch of dirt? Like it was just sitting there forever? Yes, look at the windshield wipers. When's the last time he drove this car? Okay, we got to pause for a minute and just talk about this. It's not off topic completely. Yeah, this car needs a bath. Exactly. But look how much dirt is on it. I bet it's from the work that they've been doing. they got dirt all over his car, or he really hasn't driven it in, I don't know, 50 years. And now there's all this dirt on there. How do you not write something in the dirt? You know, you could even put something Scientology themed. Wash Me for sure, Erie, for sure. Wash Me would be a good one. That would be a step up. Oh my God, it's Walking Dead car because of the dust. He just pulled it right out of the apocalypse. Okay, so anyways, let's get back to this. So as you saw, he was on the phone, probably with his overlord from Scientology, and they let him know, well, you know what, just get out of there. Just get out of there. So he gets ready to go, right? He's got all lined up. Lara FM and Kelly are right there. Right there. Watch what he does. Watch. You see it, and then it goes kind of behind the car. All busted up. Looks like he hit boom, boom. Did you guys see it? With the finger? He did the pew, pew symbol. He did the pew, pew thing. It's like the top right of the screen that you can actually see it there. Hopefully you guys saw that.
Shot. He literally just went like this to us. I don't think I did. That was a Sublime reference. I don't talk like that.
Yeah, he did. He did. Do you believe that? That's, I keep saying that's crazy today. Just when you think you're surprised, if somebody like me who spent 35 years in Scientology, and I've been out for 14 years, and I've spoken extensively about Scientology in other areas over the years, I'm still shocked and surprised by the behavior, right? Yeah, that's a threat. Yeah, can you imagine if the shoe was on the other foot? What would have happened? I mean, come on. Yeah, it is. It's Mike Sandoval. That is how they really feel. Well, he does. He does. Not all Scientologists. Because remember, not all Scientologists are like this. A lot of them are, you know, it's the mind control still holding them there, or threats to their family or their livelihood. Yeah, Adam, I agree. Someone needs to get that to streets. Yeah, I just, how dumb are you? Like, how dumb are you? Like, they have video cameras. They're recording you right now, and you're going to go do that. How does this not get him in trouble? Even with Scientology, talk about poking the bear. It's crazy, Casper, evil old man. Yeah, it is. May the force be with you. Call it illegal, not crazy, because the cult actions are. Very good point. Excellent point. Excellent. Yeah, he's already in trouble. He failed at his other mission. So yeah, now he's trying to do this. It's so dumb. Okay, let's go to Chicago. Speaking of that blind tack that Nora called out, yeah, that's what was happening in Chicago. But do you guys remember, not Chadwick? Well, maybe there's two Chadwicks, but there's Chadwick and then there's Chad. And Chad always wore this like jacket and red Dianetic shirt. I don't know if you guys remember him from Chicago. And anyways, we had him on video a while ago. We shared a couple things with him, and we were wondering, like, why doesn't he have a uniform? Why doesn't he have a uniform? Well, rest assured, we can all sleep at night now because he has a uniform now. Check it out.
Hey, Chad. So, right, we've got Chad closing the blinds because, again, all cults have to hide from public. If you've got a cult, right, you don't want the public to see your cult. So you've got to take the shades down. Yes, there are people walking behind me. There was no public in there. We saw Chad walk in. Chad did have flyers in his. Hey, Chad.
Yep, that's what they are covering up, that there's nobody in there. Yet they have to pay all this money, all this money now to keep the electric on, to pay the gas bill. Can you imagine a building of that size and almost no one is in there? There's not public coming in paying money to offset the cost of just the utilities, and the mother to help them out with their electric bill. No, they're not. No, they're not. No. So what do? They do like they were doing in Dallas. Let's turn off some of the lights. Let's turn off some of the lights, and then, no. It won't be obvious that we can't pay our electric bill. No, it's obvious. They will know. They will know. We know. We're talking about it now. And the fact that you pull the blinds down each time tells us that you don't want us to see in there. And what you don't want to see is nothing. You don't want us to see nothing. Ooh, listen to this. Talia walked past London Org today and it was empty as well. Oh, big surprise. Oh my goodness. London, empty there too. London, isn't that the org too that Tom Cruise's daughter trains at, or that she did train at? I'm telling you. Oh, thank you for the reminder, Cricket. Everybody, please go in an orderly flash fashion and show that like button some aloha, but only if you want to piss off Scientology. And if you want to double down, subscribe and set your notification bell to all, because they don't like that. And welcome everybody coming from Maryland as well. We shared a clip early on from Maryland that was super awesome, but welcome everybody. Aloha, come on in, hit that like button on your way in. Good to see all of you here. Okay, so speaking of this Chad here in Chicago, I just could not get enough. And Windy City, he goes and gives him an earful during his walk of shame, which is basically when he has his Scientology propaganda in his hand, but he cannot give it to anybody because Windy City Satan Watch is right there.
Not a single brand new person.
And he's playing the video again of Aaron growing up in Scientology, sharing that not a single new person has gotten into Scientology since they opened their ideal organization.
Gotten into Scientology in Chicago since the grand opening of that building.
Not a single new person has gotten into Scientology in Chicago since the grand opening of the building. Hundreds of millions of dollars gone.
Now, I think with Chad, sometimes, I don't know, the way he definitely gives distraction, like sometimes I think, and it's fine to, because you never know, he might be actually handing stuff out, but have we actually seen him? Wendy, if you're here, tell me, do we ever see Chad? Does he actually hand anything out? Because it doesn't seem like it. So either he's slacking in his Scientology job of getting out that promo, or his sole purpose is to just have somebody follow him. I don't know. This video, Jamie, it was the other day. I just got it from Wendy. Yep, I agree. Hey, Lori Plays. Love Windy City Satan Watch. Love his style and his heart. Same. Same. Style audit 1A. Have to say it. Chad is my favorite. Tell me why. There's a whole cast of characters over there. There's Jessica. There's Chad. There's Chadwick. Isn't there a Jerry? Or I think I'm mixing that up. Oh my God, my allergies are getting to me. Let's see. When did they open it? Was it March? Was it March this year? You guys remember? It was very recently. I think it was. I think it actually was March. The Witch Share. Thank you so much for becoming a member of the channel. Hip, hip, hooray. Mahalo to you. I appreciate that. Oh, good. Wendy's here. Wendy said March 3rd is when they emptied. They are empty, but that's when they opened. Yes. Okay, now let's see here. Let's take a look at, let's go to Sacramento. I was sent a clip of somebody who's new to me. El Sarmento in Sacramento is out there live streaming and protesting Scientology. Let's give it a little look.
How long does it take to swipe a credit card? And hopefully she's not using a credit card. Hopefully she's using cash if she's going to buy the damn thing. I wouldn't trust these people with my credit card information.
He makes a very good point, because in Scientology, there was this thing called the chase wave, where they basically took people's credit cards and jacked them up either without their permission, or got them to lend money to other high-risk individuals, high risk in terms of, credit, having lower credit, where they could either get more credit or they had bad credit. So they would take somebody, a Scientologist, or even the Sea Org member, as they did with Mike Brown's mom, Rosemary, and jack up their credit cards and lend them to somebody who doesn't have the credit to borrow that level of money. Well, a lot of times it falls apart. It falls apart many, many, many times. We should do another video on that. I feel like it's been a while since anybody has talked about that. I got to remember that video about the chase wave. It's Mike Sandoval. I wouldn't trust them with my library card. Yeah, that's a thing. Once you give them your information, you're stuck on a Scientology mailing list. I keep saying it's like herpes. It does not go away. You're on there. You're stuck on there, and they will just pop out when you least expect it. Even if you move, they will track you down. Now, the cure for that is to become a suppressive person. And boy, you get off that mailing list real quick. That's how I finally got off the mailing list for Scientology, was only once I was declared a suppressive person, which, let's be honest, happened kind of fast. After I left Scientology, and again, for the record, for the new people, I left Scientology. I broke up with them. They excommunicated me after. They love to say that, people, myself, was kicked out of Scientology. Really? Really? Did you kick me out after I left with 3 generations of my family and we all left? And, that was it? It just cracks me up when they do that. Let's see. Okay, so speaking of funny Scientology things, let's take a look at a video that Aaron at Growing Up in Scientology did where he was talking about common justifications by Scientologists that L. Ron Hubbard himself was sharing. So back in the day, which means maybe it's still happening now, I don't know. These were common justifications by Scientologists for their sins, or in Scientology, it's called overt and withholds.
Good rank and file Scientologists have been most commonly known to justify in an auditing session the things they are confessing to. I've just got to read them to you because they're hilarious. Okay. It wasn't really an overt because it wasn't me. It was just my bank. You can't hurt a Thetan. He was asking for a motivator. He's got overts on me. I've got a service facsimile on that. He's got, his overts are bigger than mine.
It's kind of funny. He goes through a whole list. You should check out the video. It just cracked me up. And I don't know if it was just funny to me because I'm an ex-Scientologist, but I feel like there's some gems in there that you guys would get and probably even play off of, because the best jokes I hear about Scientology tend to come from people never in Scientology. It's so funny. Oh, that's a good one. Does it matter to you? Not to me. Ethics are a personal thing. Not unless Scientology disagrees with you or your ethics somehow harm or endanger them, feeds into their paranoia. Okay, now let's see here. We're going to talk about something that I've been wanting to talk about ever since I covered this. Maybe it was last week. Do you guys remember we talked about Free Spirit Singles, the Scientology dating service? You guys remember that? And it really got me wondering, well, what are Scientologists looking for? And what are Scientology men looking for? Don't get it twisted. I have zero interest. I'm done with dating Scientology men. That ended many years ago. I am curious as to what they think they need to say to meet or get with another Scientologist. And are they open to dating outside of Scientology? Like, what's it like these days? And somebody was kind enough to send some screenshots so we could answer that question and find out for ourselves. We need a little romantic, sexy music. Everybody get comfortable because we're going to read some profiles from men looking to date in Scientology. So let's see here. No one's being identified here, by the way. This person has his goals and purposes, his goals to get trained and get auditing up to the top of the grade chart and use my knowledge of Scientology to effectively help others and to bring up my dynamic. And I would like a wonderful, very smooth, full of love and care 2D relationship with the right woman. The keywords there. Very what? Very smooth, full of loving care. Now, the 2D in Scientology, that's a romantic relationship. The second dynamic, okay? Oh, it gets better, though. There's some real good ones in here, you guys. Hold on, let's go to the next one here. Okay, so a lot of your basic information, they ask you how much money you make. This guy's height, weight, all that. But then my religion, spiritual orientation, religious, spiritual dating preference. I desire to date only within my religion. Now, I think that's a drop-down option because a lot of the guys chose that one and a couple chose within my religion or outside of. Now, this guy's a catch because he has listened to all basics and all of the congresses. He did some courses too, like the student hat. This guy's done the PTSSP course. He paid for his academy training and he's doing it. He's a level 5 auditor and he's getting some Dianetics auditing. And he speaks Hungarian. Any takers here? Any takers for that? Any takers? Okay, let's see. This one, again, answer some of the basic. Oh, supporter of the way to happiness. Nothing says, tell me you're a Scientologist without telling me you're a Scientologist by checking this box, that you support the way to happiness. And he too desires to only date within his religion, but he's on OT7 right now. He's done the professional metering course and the golden age of tech. Ooh, and he's a sponsor of the International Association of Scientologists. But also, he volunteers, so it's not like, he's just giving money. He was a translator for the anti-psych nonprofit organization. In other words, he translated the anti-psychiatry stuff for Scientology. And he donated money to the Way to Happiness in Colombia. I don't know, winner, chicken dinner? Does this, anybody getting into this, right? We swiping left here? Oh, Lori's swiping left. You're swiping left. Okay. So let's see here. There was a really good one I wanted to read you. Was it any of these? This person just wants to find a life partner that has similar goals and purposes and live very happily ever after. Now, he wants to finish the building project that I have ongoing after I go on number 1. I don't know what that means. Maybe it's some Scientology code that came out after I left. Maybe English is not his first language, because that actually makes no sense. But he's a contributor to, this guy saved a person out of a burning house. I mean, come on. We got to have a taker here for that one. Saved somebody in a burning house. Come on, you guys. This is love. This person saved a life. The rest of us are just slackers. Okay, where's my little thingy here? There we go. This person finished high school and 1 year of business administration. Is this person really a Scientologist? Let's see. Working as a computer programmer in a big and prosperous company. Yes, this person is a Scientologist, because who says that? I work for a big and prosperous company. I had a small business of my own in the past, but I enjoy the place I'm in, and it allows me to be on 7. Okay, this guy is auditing on Dayton level 7. That's why Scientology say to be on 7. Okay, now this person though, if you're looking for a long distance relationship, this is not the guy for you. He says, I'm not into virtual relationships. If we want to create something, we need at some point to meet. He's looking for an incredible partner who wants to create relationships which would lead to a family. Well, you better not join the Sea Org then, because you cannot have a family. Definitely. No. Now, this one has some accomplishments. I've been successful in my career, in my family, and in creating pleasure moments for myself and others. Okay, I thought we weren't supposed to self-pleasure in Scientology. Is this what he's talking about? Let's read it again. I might have a misunderstood word. I have been successful in my career, in my family, and in creating pleasure moments for myself and others. I take pride in my ability to change and to grow and look forward to what the future holds. This guy's got 2 grown kids. He's looking for someone who can communicate well. He's spiritual, playful, and active. Someone that wants to create a life and share that life. That's some good goals. This guy only wants to date within Scientology. He's preparing for his next step. He's taking extension courses, which are home study courses. That's Scientology light, buddy. You are a dilettante and a slacker as far as Scientologist goes. You're not going to get a Scientology lady being on some extension courses. Ooh, but he is Swedish. Let's see. This person did some college, is certified in holistic method before I learned about Scientology. Notice the disclaimer. I was into holistic stuff and like holistic things, but that was before Scientology. And now I see it as what that is, an other practice, other fish to fry. I'm not doing it anymore. Maybe he's also not creating his reactive mind anymore. I don't know. Oh, his plan is to get at least clear. So he's not clear yet. So he is still creating his own reactive mind. He hasn't realized that. But he was on staff in Harlem for 7.5 years. So for the taking, ladies, for the taking. This guy also only wants to date within Scientology. It looks like he's on staff. Staff status is a staff hat. No, pass. Ooh. First degree black belt in October of 2020. Started own business 2021. About my work. We'll talk later. To me, that screams unemployed at the moment, but maybe he just doesn't want to say. But what's he looking for in a woman? Very uptone. So in Scientology, this means you're emotionally not erect, that you don't express emotions like grief and anger unless you're angry at somebody who's not superior to you. Then you're allowed to be mad. He wants someone with a high communication ability. Just don't communicate or talk about your disagreements about Scientology. Outside of that, communicate. Can grant a lot of beingness. That is Scientology speak for, you pretty much going to let me do what I want to do, and I'm going to let you do what you want to do. I'm going to be understanding and maybe give you some grace. That's the idea. High energy, caring, wants to advance spiritually. That means you want to get up the bridge to total freedom. Okay, listen to this one. This guy, certified commercial investment member, he's done superpower. Little typo there. That's a strike against you, my friend. But listen, I have lovely children from a previous relationship which ended in divorce due to my partner's lack of acceptance of my path to spiritual growth on the bridge. For one, he writes bridge funny, which makes me wonder if you're not supposed to use Scientology words on this thing. You know what I'm saying? I think so. But this dude says right here, I split from my previous relationship. I got a divorce because she didn't want to do Scientology. That's basically what he's saying. Right there in his dating profile. Right there. Superpower. That's funny. Is that a typo? All right, let's see. Let's just do a couple more. Oh, this guy is halfway through the basics. Catch up, brother. The basics have been out for like 15 years. I've done course on how to study. I've done course. Does nobody do a grammar check? Does nobody put this in the chat GPT and say, can you please like check? Can you check this for me? Can you check my grammar? I'm just saying, you're going to, yeah, it's so easy. It's so easy to do. His goal, spiritual freedom. He has a construction business, no children, looking for someone who's uptone and wants to achieve spiritual freedom together. This guy wants a lady that's high in communication, pan-determined. Theta wants to create with me on all aspects of life. Be so connected. We know what each other are doing and thinking. Ultimate team. Works together in all problems. Okay, basically he's saying, you want to be so well connected that you know what each other are doing and thinking. That to me screams, I'm going to report you to Scientology the first time I even think or feel like you're doing something against Scientology rules. Because snitch culture. I'm in search of you. My dream 2D partner. A wonderful lady who's captivating both in physical appearance and soul. I'm fully capable and willing to admire, love, and support you in every possible way. My expectations from my 2D partner, part of my ideal scene, and an ideal scene is Scientology speak for, my ideal mate, my ideal situation. You got to be willing and able to form an outgoing flow naturally. I don't know what the hell that is. Willing and able to form an outgoing flow naturally. What in the world does that mean? Capable to create long-term, reliable relationships, a powerful 2D marriage, able to form and maintain common goals, willing and capable of growing spiritually and intellectually, loves to travel. Well, you're not going to be doing a lot of travel because you're going to be giving your money to Scientology. The only travel you're going to do is to Scientology organization. Now, here's one that really took the cake here. So, this person's primary language is German. And by the way, so many of these guys were Russian, Hungarian, Swedish, German, like a large number, more than you would think. This guy's goals and purposes, I want to become able to leave my body at free will. I'm a humanitarian and I love to help. Humanitarian is also a status in Scientology. We probably gave them a ton of money. Want to know my relationship goals? Let's talk in person. He wants to be able to leave his body at will. Yeah. Adrian, you're killing me. The term blowing Scientology has different meanings. Oh my goodness. The Witcher. Hold on. Why is this stuck here? Hold on a second. Thank you so much for that super chat. That's very kind of you. I have quiet BPD. Oh, okay. And my mental health has been horrible lately. I really needed the smiles and laughs this morning. Mahalo nui loa. Thank you to you. I'm so glad. I'm glad you got to have a little laugh with us. CO Bill, thank you for the super sticker. 3 L's, don't even try to holler. No scrubs. So L's in Scientology are these super expensive rundowns. And if you've done the L's, then you were successful. Because one, you had enough money to pay for it. Secondly, because you've done the L rundowns, you are now this ultra powerful person. Nothing on me is fake. As a therapist, I'm tempted to make a profile for this and see if nobody actually reaches out and then see what happens with them. But I really don't want any of them having my information. Yeah, no, probably best to stay away. Oh, John, you're so naughty. Entering Scientology is against self-pleasuring because Elleridge couldn't find his twig and berries. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, cooking with the grandma. Oh my God. Thank you so freaking much for the legit belly laughs. I'm glad you guys found it as funny as I did, because it's next level. And you know what? Maybe there'll be more. We'll see. We'll see what people send me. Natalie@lifeafteraccult.com. If you see something, say something. Scientology cults, articles on YouTube, send me clips, send me timestamps. Tell me what I'm looking at. That is so helpful when you guys do that. I love it. Ooh, Happy Healing Train. I did create a profile. That's how I got the shots, but scary to stay on there. Come on, just grab a few more and send them to me. Now, here's the other thing. You might be wondering, like, well, Natalie, why are we only looking at the profiles of men? Well, because the person that was in there was a female, and the website doesn't allow you to seek same sex. Funny, because last time I checked, Scientology was trying to say that, oh, no, we would totally perform a gay wedding. Yeah, we would. No, you would not, nor have you. So I find that very interesting indeed. All right, everybody. Later on, I may or may not be jumping back on. I'm trying to remember what I have to do today. I am going to be road tripping it tomorrow. So I will tell you more of that probably while I'm on the road, where I'm headed and what I'm going to be doing. In the meantime, everybody, please hit that like button, hit subscribe, and set your notification bell to all so that we might see each other again. In the meantime, everybody get out there and have an amazing cult-free day.